Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for CrypticChance. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, do have a PayPal, do have CashApp. Either one is fine. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to as soon as I possibly can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I really do appreciate it. And again, it could be pretty much any type of video. Feel free, and again, I'll get to it when I can. Now, this is for the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of the Water, that came out in 2015. Wish I gotta make a note here real quick. There we go. Which, I didn't follow SpongeBob as much as other people did, but I did see some of the movies, and I liked what I saw. I probably would say the first movie, I still think is the best one. But this one I didn't mind. It still has that quirky, humorous charm with the characters. There's still moments that made me chuckle. It didn't feel like a regurgitation of stuff they've done before, at least movie-wise. And even in 2015, this was still a successful franchise. I mean, this made $162 million in the U.S. alone, which is a pretty valiant effort. And Tom Kenny comes back as the voice of SpongeBob. Clancy Brown comes back as the voice of, I'll call him Mr. Crab, the guy who runs the crab burger joint. Antonio Banderas is in the film as the villain. And this one they do definitely a bit more of this blend of live action as well as animation. Because Antonio Banderas is in the real world, I guess you call it, the live action world. He's avoiding these traps to steal this book. He just uppercutted, but he's uppercutted right back to his ship, so it works out for him. And then you have these CG birds interacting with him, talking with him. And pretty much Antonio Banderas is reading this book. We found out later why he has the book later. It's a magic book. We find out later that it's a book that when you write stuff, it'll give you whatever you want. But he's reading this book, and we're reintroduced to the SpongeBob world, where SpongeBob is at work. The bad guy down there, Plankton, this little guy, is always trying to steal the formula to their Krabby Patty food, which is a big success. They're in the middle of this battle where SpongeBob has this machine gun of ketchup and mustard, and he's got this bandana like Rambo, and he's shooting it like crazy, while the bad guys, these tanks and all this other stuff, and they get all fucked up. He has a decoy of himself so that it seems like he's surrendering, but his real self is stealing the formula. SpongeBob finds out they're going back and forth, and the formula just disappears. Because we find out later that Antonio Banderas wrote it to grab it, because what he wants the formula for himself, because his pirate ship is also a food truck, so he'll go on the beach and make all this food and make all this money. But our characters don't know that yet. They think Plankton did it. SpongeBob's like, well, usually I would say yes, but he didn't do it. So then they start blaming SpongeBob as well, and then SpongeBob and Plankton have to go on this journey to find this formula to save their place, save their world, so to speak, because they don't have the deliciousness of the Krabby Patties. They just turn into fucking Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, pretty much. Now, again, there are quite a few fun moments throughout the film. SpongeBob is such an upbeat character that I can see why so many people love the character. He's definitely a top level of optimism. And Tom Kenny voices him very well. I do like Clancy Brown as an actor, from Highlander to Pet Sematary 2 to Buckaroo Banzai. It's nice to see him voicing, this crab who's just, a pretty decent boss, decent guy. Plankton, I didn't mind the voice acting on him. Like some of the jokes that worked, I liked the bit where before Plankton tries to steal the stuff, Clancy Brown tells his joke, and Plankton's like, why is that torture? And he's like, you'll see. So he puts on headphones, and SpongeBob's like, thinking the joke, oh, I did it. And then he starts laughing, and it's such an annoying laugh. Clancy Brown can't hear it because he's got the headphones, and he's just nice and calm and smiling. But Plankton's like, no, he just fucking laughing just annoys the piss out of him to the point of being torture. That I thought was kind of funny. That I thought was a pretty funny idea. I like the idea of SpongeBob's buddy Patrick, which I can never pronounce the guy's name. It's Bill. I can't never pronounce the last name, but he was on Coach with Craig T. Nelson. He was the guy who was a bit not the brightest, hanging out with Rob Lowe in the original The Stand. That spells. I mean, that whole. I mean, if you've seen the film, you know what I mean. He's always spelling stuff, but then he says the stuff that isn't spelled. M-O-O-N. That spells. I forget what. It's been a while since I've seen this thing. I think it was M-O-O-N that he kept spelling. But that means he always say something. If it wasn't that, I can't remember. Anyway, like I said, it's been a while since I've seen The Stand. But I do like him as the buddy here, Patrick. And when he's going crazy, there's that squirrel, Sandy, with the deer on so she could breathe underwater. She's got a sandwich. And then you see Patrick kind of, each time she does this, he kind of does this. And then when she puts the bird away from his face, he does this. And kind of goes back and forth as she's noticing that each time she moves, he mimics her movements. Something about that visually I thought was kind of funny. When Plankton goes into SpongeBob's brain and sees that's just filled with popsicles and cotton candy and all sorts of other candy and type of flavors. Well, yeah, it makes sense he would have this kind of mindset. Or when they're working together and they're like, I'll give you a boost. But then SpongeBob steps on him, and then Plankton's like, how about I give you a boost? Oh, yeah, okay. So he just reaches his foot out and just scrapes the guy off his shoe on the top window. I thought that was funny. Antonio Banderas, I mean, he's done children's films. I mean, he was in Shrek 2. He was in Puss in Boots. Spy Kids films. So nice to see him here having fun playing a pirate. He did definitely. It was like a role that he could, just have fun with, and be goofy, be silly. I will say though that one of the jokes I didn't care for, they definitely try to have a running bird shit joke, gag, whether it be like they all turn. Like, you better continue the story or else, and they turn and their butts are aiming and they cock it like a gun. One too many jokes of that type of stuff. It's like, I'm just not big on those type of jokes. I'm not sure if he's on the show, but there's this dolphin that's in space. I guess for a guy that's never seen the show, because I've seen some of the movies, but not the show. This kind of almost came out of left field, where it's like this dolphin in space, and I guess you deal with space and time. Okay, if he's on the show, then okay, that explains it. But like I said, again, as a guy that never watched the show itself, this almost came out of the blue. Had to take me a adjustment. I thought it was interesting that he was done in a different animation style, which was stop motion. So you have 2D characters, and then you have the stop motion character. I thought that was neat to see a blend of those two in the same frame. And the idea is that they're supposed to be watching while thank you, you guys watch. I gotta go to the bathroom. I don't need to hear about a dolphin going to the bathroom. Just do your thing, cuz. But the fact that SpongeBob and the guy they're watching, and then the planets like Saturn and was it Saturn and Jupiter, like two of them collide, and Then the dolphin gets fired because of it. Some of the musical choices, like Ecstasy of Gold by Ennio Morricone from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Thought that was kind of cool to hear that piece of music. It's a great piece of music. Ah, ah, da 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 da. So it's nice to hear music like that in the film. Not something you typically would think you'd hear, so it's a nice surprise. One thing leads to another. With the help of that dolphin, they're able to get to the real world, onto the beach, and with his help they can breathe up there, and then that's where they're more in 3D animation. Some of the devs were kind of funny. There's this fat guy that they just think is a whale, and they go, oh, he's beach, so we gotta get him back into the water. And they deal with Antonio Banderas. Antonio Banderas sends them away, but thankfully they have one of the pages, so SpongeBob was able to write down what he needs to do and what they need to do. So not only does he bring them back, but he brings them back changed, taller, buffer, with superpowers. So SpongeBob has these bubbles he can shoot out. Patrick can control ice cream. So of course the first thing he does is this big epic bit, and then he just eats the ice cream. And he uses them correctly the second time. Sandy the squirrel is an actual squirrel, or CGI squirrel I should say, but looking more like a real squirrel than her cartoon self. Clancy Brown, he looks kind of like a crab robot, and his claws shoot out. They fight Antonio Banderas. Antonio Banderas fights back. They break down his pirate ship, aka his food truck. Ultimately, Plankton comes back in. He's still a teammate of SpongeBob. Takes care. They save the day. They get the formula back. They get back to their home. And it's back to business as usual. Plankton trying to steal the formula. And there you go. So, I mean, the fan went back to normal, went back to basics. As a business, like that type, I don't know. That kind of rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. It did rub me. The reason it rubbed me the wrong way is because it would have been nice to have some kind of, not consequence. Well, I guess consequences, but this amounted to something, some kind of change, some kind of advancement, some kind of development. The fad just goes back to square one as if nothing happened. It just, I don't know. It felt like, in a way, it was all pointless. I mean, it wasn't, because this guy stole a formula, they got it back, but just everything else just felt a bit pointless. Like, okay, them being a team, and he does help out, but then he just goes back. I get it. You gotta go to the status quo because you gotta go back to being a TV show where Plankton's doing these things. So I did it on that front. But I don't know, it still, as a movie, kind of bothered me a bit. I do like Sponge's pet, which is a snail. The fact that the snail just meows like a cat. I do like the bit when SpongeBob and Plankton are on the run. He goes to get his pet. The pet hisses at him, and you think they're being chased, but then you see that the pet and other snails just doing this. And SpongeBob goes, oh yeah, they're snails. Just the idea of like the chase being like this. As they're hurriedly rushing out. That review I thought was kind of funny. So yeah, there's enough moments here that made me chuckle. The very end, Antonio Banderas is stuck on an island, trapped in the sand. I guess the idea is that at the intro of SpongeBob, you have this pirate framed. Like he was the pirate, or he's the new pirate, or whatever the case. Now, it's not him singing the song, because I recognize the voice. It's the voice from the TV show. SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants. But in between, like, the birds and the dolphin getting this rap battle, I don't know if that was really needed, the rap battle. It definitely feels like just thrown in there last minute. I mean, even the pirate even goes, "Start you off, the movie's going too long because of you two. Did you guys?" I'm like, yeah, he's got a point. So as is, I mean, I would say that the first one I got a little bit more. Like, I still think it's the best of these films, but this is still fun enough to watch. I say, it still has that quirky sense of humor. Had enough funny moments that made me chuckle and enjoy it. It's only, if you take out the end credits, 80-some minutes long. Like I said, I like the different variety of animation styles. You have 2D for the most part, but then again, you have a little bit of 3D when you're in Antonio Banderas of the real world, when the characters get there, and then the birds, and then again the dolphin being stop motion. And yeah, I'm not as familiar with the show, so whether it breaks any rules that the show had, I don't know. But yeah, I thought I had fun. I had a fun time watching it. I liked it for what it was. So with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.